And if I didn't talk to you, it was a problem. And then it would be, you know, you don't have to do this. And for me, that felt like, don't negate what I have been doing. Don't negate.
Mendeecees sat alone in his living room, the dim light casting shadows over the space. It used to feel like a peaceful retreat, a place where he could relax and escape from the world. But now, the room seemed to carry the weight of his troubles, and everything felt different. The laughter and love that once filled the air were now distant memories. The recent events had completely shattered his sense of calm, leaving a heavy tension in the atmosphere that he couldn't shake. He looked around the room, feeling the loss of what had once been a sanctuary for him and his family. He thought of Yandy, who had always been his rock, the one who stood by him through every challenge. But today, things were different. Their bond, which had once seemed unbreakable, had started to crumble, and Mendeecees could feel it. He heard her voice in his mind, the sharpness of her words echoing in his ears. "You need to get it together. Maybe I can't keep doing this." Those words had pierced his heart like a dagger when she finally reached her breaking point. He could still hear the hurt and frustration in her tone, the result of unmet expectations and promises that had gone unfulfilled.
Moving in two different directions, and if I don't speak up right now, I'm gonna be miserable.
It all started with a disagreement about their future plans, plans that never came to fruition. Over time, it seemed like every promise made was broken, and every dream they shared slowly slipped away. Mendeecees had tried to defend himself, insisting that he was doing his best, but all Yandy saw was disappointment. The house, which had once been filled with life and energy, now felt empty and silent. It was as if the walls themselves were grieving the loss of something precious. As he walked through the house, each room seemed to echo with memories of better times. Photographs on the walls reminded him of what they had built together. He thought about the love they had shared, but now that love felt heavy, like a chain pulling them further apart. The turning point came when Yandy packed her bags and left. The finality of it hit him like a bolt of lightning, leaving him lost and confused. He thought about the life they had planned, the family they had dreamed of raising, and how everything seemed to be falling apart before his eyes. Days turned into weeks, and Mendeecees struggled to process his emotions. He felt like he had let Yandy down in ways he couldn't fully understand. Friends and family began to worry about him, noticing how much he had changed. His laughter, once a regular part of his personality, had disappeared, replaced by a somber expression that spoke volumes about how much the situation was affecting him. He tried to put on a brave face, but on the inside, he was falling apart. It felt like the walls of his heart were closing in, suffocating him with the weight of his decisions.
Relationship. It felt more like a business arrangement, and it don't seem like you happy. I'm scared to get to a point with no return.
I had to carry the brunt of this relationship, the brunt of these kids and everything, where I put a lot of my dreams on pause. So now that you're here, there is a part of me that feels like, I want to shoot movies, you know, I want to open up businesses, I want to hire more people.
You can't neglect, our needs or things that you want. And money gonna make you happy, and that's gonna fulfill you. What are we doing here?
You feel like I work hard.
No, it's not about work hard. Please let's not make this about work hard, right? Let's just make it about Yandy do what she wanna do, right?
One evening, as he sat staring at the sunset, a small glimmer of hope appeared in his mind. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't too late to fix things with Yandy. He wondered if she would be willing to listen, to give their relationship another chance. With his heart racing, he reached for his phone and began to type a message. But as his fingers hovered over the screen, he hesitated. Would she even want to hear from him after everything that had happened? After what felt like an eternity of indecision, he hit send, sending his message into the world, unsure of what the response would be. It was in that moment that he realized something important. If he wanted to salvage what they had, he needed to confront the mistakes he had made. He needed to face his demons, no matter how difficult it might be. He knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but he also understood that growth often came from the most painful experiences. Maybe, just maybe, this would be the turning point for him, the chance to rebuild his life and his relationship with Yandy. But just when it seemed like things were starting to look up for Mendeecees and Yandy, a new bombshell dropped. Rumors began circulating that Mendeecees had been involved in a secret affair. The details were shocking. He was allegedly having an affair with Erica, the mother of one of his children. The whispers grew louder, and it quickly became clear that this wasn't just a brief fling. It appeared that Mendeecees had been seeing Erica for some time, and the evidence suggested that their relationship might have been much more serious than anyone had realized. Yandy was devastated. This wasn't the first time Mendeecees had been accused of infidelity, but this time felt different. The betrayal seemed deeper, more painful. Yandy had supported him through so much, including his legal troubles and his time in prison. She had believed that they were finally moving forward, building a future together. Now, it felt like everything was falling apart. She was heartbroken, and understandably so. She had given everything to their relationship, only to find out that Mendeecees had been rekindling a romance with his ex behind her back. The news sent shockwaves through their family and friends. Yandy wasn't one to stay silent, especially when she was hurting. She began speaking out, expressing her feelings, and even publicly disparaging Erica. But as the drama unfolded, it became clear that things were much more complicated than Yandy had initially believed. Erica, in turn, took to social media, posting old pictures of herself and Mendeecees. These images painted a picture of a much closer relationship between the two of them than anyone had realized. It seemed that Erica had always been an important part of Mendeecees' life, and now she was making it clear that she wasn't just a side note in their history. Erica's posts added fuel to the fire, suggesting that Yandy might not have been as secure in her position as she thought. It was a painful realization for Yandy, who had always believed that her relationship with Mendeecees was solid. The idea that Erica might have been the one who was truly at the center of his life was a hard pill to swallow.
Right? I had expectations, and everyone I had expectations let me down. And I didn't want this relationship ruined.
Did you tell her that?
I told her that,
but did you really mean that?
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't mean it. I wanted to see if she take the exit.
Right.
Like if he giving me sometimes
I'm gonna take it.
And sometimes you give someone an out and see if they take it.
Yeah.
And if they take it, that's what they really want.
The situation took an even more shocking turn when rumors started to spread that Mendeecees and Erica were secretly engaged. This revelation sent shockwaves through the community. Yandy had been fighting to keep her family together, but it appeared that Mendeecees had already moved on, planning a future with someone else. It was a devastating blow for Yandy, who had already been dealing with so much. The news of the engagement went viral, and fans were left wondering how long this affair had been going on behind Yandy's back. If the rumors were true, it suggested that Mendeecees had completely moved on from Yandy despite everything they had been through together. For Yandy, this felt like a nightmare. It wasn't the first time she had dealt with drama related to Erica, but this situation felt different. This wasn't just about co-parenting, it was about a betrayal that went deeper than anything she had ever imagined. As the drama unfolded, it became clear that their relationship was teetering on the edge of collapse. Yandy had always been the one to hold things together, even when Mendeecees was incarcerated or facing other struggles. She had been the rock of their family, raising their kids and trying to keep everything running smoothly. But this betrayal, this affair with Erica, was too much to bear. It felt like the final straw. Yandy was left to question everything she had believed about their relationship and whether it was even worth fighting for anymore. In a recent interview, Mendeecees dropped another bombshell. He admitted that, in many ways, he had been more focused on the idea of marriage than on the actual experience of love. For Yandy, hearing this was like a slap in the face. She had dedicated so much of her life to their partnership through all the ups and downs, and to hear him say that he had never truly been in love with her was devastating. It raised serious questions about his commitment to her and their family. Was everything she had done, all the sacrifices she had made, in vain? As the news of Mendeecees' confession spread, it became clear that their relationship was in deep trouble. Yandy was at a crossroads, unsure whether she should continue fighting for the love they once shared or walk away for good. The weight of Mendeecees' words hung heavily over her, and it was clear that she was exhausted, emotionally drained, and ready to move on. But Yandy was not the type of person to give up easily. She had always shown a willingness to fight for her family, even when things were difficult. This time, however, it was about more than just keeping the family together. It was about her happiness and her own sense of self-worth. She needed to be with someone who was fully committed to her, someone who valued her as much as she valued him. As Yandy grappled with these difficult decisions, fans and followers weighed in on the situation. Many offered their support, applauding Yandy for her strength and resilience. Others criticized Mendeecees, expressing their disappointment in his actions. The public's reaction only added to the pressure Yandy was already feeling. Everyone seemed to have an opinion on what she should do. In the end, Yandy knew that the decision was hers to make. She had to decide whether to give Mendeecees another chance or to walk away and reclaim her happiness. It wasn't an easy choice, and no matter what she decided, it was clear that her journey was far from over. But one thing was certain: she deserved to be with someone who truly cared for her and was willing to put in the effort to make their relationship work. Only time would tell what Yandy's next move would be. Would she fight for the love that had once brought her and Mendeecees together? Or would she choose to move on and find happiness on her own? The future was uncertain, but Yandy's strength and determination would guide her through whatever came next. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos.